And welcome to another installment of the Tom Henry Show. Can you believe it? It's a beautiful November night. Rainy one. I love the rain. So, what's been going on? We haven't checked in on really the podcast world and all that kind of stuff lately. You know about my obsession with these Dalias. There's the Chris, and then there's the one who's even worse than Chris. For a while, I didn't know his name, which was great. But his name's Matt Dalia. And what I found out, I asked my friend ChatGPT, or Johnny as I call him, or as he calls me sometimes. He forgets that he's Johnny, and he calls me Johnny. But apparently, I'm allowed to show clips from this podcast, which I have ruined my algorithm with because I can't look away from these guys. And I'm going to do you the great favor of not having to ruin your algorithm. I'm on top of these guys for you. So I think just right up off the top here, I'm going to show you these guys. I'm also going to mention, for my business savvy, that they have a Patreon that's $10 US to listen to more of these guys. And I think it's doing quite well. I have a Patreon. It's $7.50 Canadian. I'm just saying that. Here we go. This is a really fun clip. Now, I know I go on about how Matt Dalia is the worst one, but Chris is going to make an argument for that in this clip. So here we go. Here we go.
Jocularity would be a movie with Denzel Washington in 1993.
And I would have seen
Jocularity with Denzel Washington and Jeff Fahey.
Oh, dude, I love Jeff Fahey.
Jocularity. They're both friends, and then they aren't, but they remain jocular.
Are they like cops or something? Like, what's the impetus to stay jocular?
They were...
Like, why do they have to remain jocular with one another?
Jocular.
It's such a bad plot.
They were best friends on the force, and then one of them decided to dabble in crime and was a crooked cop, and then they became
Okay, that's enough of that. But that guy is really... That's the most anybody's ever laughed at Chris D'Elia. Now, first of all, I don't have that much to say about the clip other than I find these guys absolutely fascinating. I find them fascinating. They're two like horrible guys. I think they were born in LA to a producer father, film producer, and they are really just amazing guys. And I mean, they're truly, I'm in awe. The only thing I want to say is they say that's a Denzel Washington movie. I don't feel like they've never seen a Denzel Washington movie at all. It's not a Denzel Washington movie. That's Denzel Washington didn't do buddy cop films. Anyway, that's really wild stuff. I noticed the other day, somebody said to me, they go, "What's going on? How's it been going? What's been happening?" I say the same thing every time. I say, "Oh, same old." How are you supposed to answer that? And then I thought, I'm going to be like 90 years old. I'll have just lost my wife of 40 years, and somebody's going to say, what's been going on? And I'll go, oh, same old. There's no other way to answer that. All right, so I wanted to do a little checkup on the podcast. As you probably know if you watch or listen, the podcast is very much through my sort of my eyes of what it is to do a podcast and how it feels. And I'm an admitted navel gazer. I'm not a narcissist, I don't think, but I do gaze at the navel. And I was thinking about it. I think it's very amazing that I've been doing this podcast for this is the 22nd episode, because I don't really like talking that much. And I don't really like thinking at all. I don't like thinking. And I have to, every time we do this, I have to think a lot. I have to think about my thoughts. I have to gather my thoughts, which I hate to do. I hate gathering things in general. I hate gathering things in my home to put them in the right place. I'm not a gatherer. And I find myself every month, every week now, I have to think. It made me think back to, had to think. It made me think back to as a child or as a teenager, I had a high school project that was like, come up with your idea of how the world was created and write, 600 words or whatever. And I had a mental breakdown. I was like, I really don't want to think about this. I really don't want to think about this. And my mother, who's a terrific writer, just did the whole thing for me. And then I looked at it and I went, oh, yeah, I guess you just have to think and then write it down and then you've done it. But just the idea of thinking put me into fits. And I realized I think I just like feelings. Like I really just like to feel and know what feeling feels like, which makes me really not good at this job. No, I think I'm doing a great job at this job. But, I had John Doerr on a couple weeks ago, and I asked him a question like, what did it feel like when you were ascending in Hollywood? And he said, it felt great. And at that moment, I thought, yeah, right. That's an appropriate answer, and you can't really describe what things feel like. I mean, it's why we have art, isn't it? But anyway, I just want to feel, really. I wish I could have a feel podcast. I also don't like the whole idea of having to, essentially my life, I've picked the wrong life, because my life is that I've decided that I'm the sun, and I need to find orbiters, and that's my whole life, that I have to be a little sun, and I will never find enough orbiters, really. I'll never be happy with how many orbiters I may have. And I'm really not really comfortable with having orbiters in the first place, but I actually also need them and crave them. So it's a really not a great place to be for me. I actually ran into a nice young lady recently who's a comedian that I didn't know, starting out, I believe. And she told me that she had been listening, and she told me that she was feeling that she had a parasocial relationship with me. And I thought, that is perfect. That's what I've been trying to get, is these parasocial freaks to feel like they know me and love me. And I've got one at least. So thank you to her. And, the rest of you, hop on the parasocial bandwagon. It'll be good. But anyway, yeah, I thought, so I'm the sun, and then I've got all these little planets. I'm not right now. I maybe have 20 planets. It's better than our damn sun, isn't it? And, then they're nice to me. They pay me compliments. That's great. But it makes me feel kind of weird, too. Like, who's being nice to my planets and complimenting them? I want them to have that, and I can't do it for them because I don't probably really know them that well, if at all. And I know these guys, there used to be these like nice guy comics who they would go on like Instagram or something, and they'd go, I have a few minutes, I'm in the airport. Anybody need a pick-me-up? And then they would post the pick-me-ups they were sending to strangers. And they would say, you're doing great. Well, how the hell do you know that? You don't know if they're doing great. It's horrible to tell somebody they're doing well when you have no idea what they're doing. It's like this Mel Robbins lady apparently ends every show by saying, I love you, and she apparently means it. But I love you guys for watching, trust me, but I don't know you. I can't tell you truly that I love you. But if you want to try sometime, just slip in the DMs. Maybe I can actually love you. All right. We do have a monologue. I got off on such a rant that I forgot about the monologue. This monologue is a day of the year monologue. This is about November the 10th, the day that this episode today. November 10th is the 314th day of the year. Can you believe that? Yeah, in 1599, there was the Abo bloodbath in which 14 noblemen who opposed Duke Charles were decapitated for involvement in the war against Sigismund I. And I just want to take this opportunity to say that I fully support Sigismund I. In 1847, the passenger ship Stephen Whitney was wrecked off the coast of Ireland, killing 92 of 110 on board. Yeah, you might have had a better chance if you came up with a better ship name than Stephen Whitney. You ever heard of, Titanic, that's a real name. In 1951, the rollout of the North American numbering plan allowed people to direct dial coast to coast in the U.S. And all I have to say is, thanks a lot. Now I got to talk to my in-laws all the time. Could have probably done better on wording that punchline. In 1999, the World Anti-Doping Agency was formed in Lausanne. Well, then how come I'm still seeing all these dopes around? Also, this is the birthday of Sinbad and Tom Papa. So I declare this Great Comedian Day. And also, this was the birthday of Diplo. So I propose that we erase this day for all time. And that's about it for the old intro. We'll be right back with a great guest, my friend Max Turnbull. You're going by your name, right? Yeah. My guest tonight is a musical genius who you may have known as Slim Twig, but you may now know as the brains behind Badge Epic. He's also one of my oldest, dearest friends, Max Turnbull, everyone.
Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome. Do you have any thoughts on the monologue, parasocial relationships, wanting people to love you even though you're not really that comfortable with it?
Yeah, I was saying I found it to be metaphysical.
I don't even know what that means, brother.
Well, if Chris D'Elia and co find out that word, they can do a clip that's just making fun of that one word because they clearly heard it for the first time. So
it'll just be really,
if you get in a podcast feud, this could be clipped out and recycled.
But so your thoughts on the rant?
I heard you saying, I want to be a little son. And I was taking the double meaning of that to be, and linking that with your description of your mom doing your homework.
Oh, yeah.
That was where I went with it.
Hold for siren. Yeah, right. The double entendre of son.
Yes.
But I did mean sort of like the orb in the sky. And this feeling, I feel like I've talked to you about this a lot. As an artist, that you really want people to like what you do.
Yeah.
And so, especially with it, I guess with a show like this, which is a weekly thing and which kind of needs followers. But I guess like with any art, like as a musician too, if you put something out, you need people to care about it.
It's true, but I think beyond that, like we as people who are making creative things, creators, content creators, creatives, we need life experience more than we need those other things. So,
right. But it's not so much about what we need as what we want. And so you have this want for more and more people to like what you do, more and more people to follow your podcast. And sometimes I think, well, I think I maybe have like 20 fans of this podcast. Probably a few more people like watch, but you know, I have like 21 Patreons.
That's
so
pretty
let's
good.
go with that number.
That does seem pretty good.
And maybe there's
all things considered.
And maybe there's 20 more who love it and don't pay for it, which is fine.
There's more than that.
Okay, so all right, let's get the number up to 100 then.
Yeah.
Who watch the whole thing and enjoy it. And I think, and all day I'm going, I need more people. But in a way, philosophically, what's the difference between 100 and 1,000?
There is no difference.
Right?
What's the difference between 100 and 1,000 years after you're dead? You know what I mean? I think like we're all up against the same problem, which is that none of it really matters. And the obsession with getting the numbers to be a certain place is sort of like a pleasurable anxiety because it makes it feel like some of it maybe matters.
Yeah, and it kind of gives you a feeling like, well, if 1,000 people cared about it, then what I say would have real weight. But I'm actually part of what I'm enjoying about not having a ton of fans, not to make this all about me off the top, is that I can say whatever I want and nobody cares. I've said a handful of semi-offensive things on this podcast, and I'm not an edgelord by any means.
Jeffrey Epstein was described as being sexy on this podcast.
Yeah, and that
I'm
wasn't...
not saying by who.
And that wasn't...
Might have been you.
That wasn't me.
Someone said it.
But it was a fair enough point. And I've said a lot of weird things. I've come out against, well, not against, but I've poked fun at bisexual women.
Yeah.
I've, a couple weeks ago, said Leonardo DiCaprio should be able to rob the cradle as long as it's legal, because he's such a great artist. I mean, that's not a great opinion. And I put these things out, and every time I put it out, I go, oh, God, what?
Here it comes.
Yeah, and then radio silence, which is a beautiful silence.
Well, they talk about the antidote to cancellation being never apologizing for your actions. But one step even more refined and sophisticated than that is never having to be prompted to apologize.
Yes.
So in that dynamic, we see that there is a beauty to obscurity that has an almost nutty taste or smell. It's like nutmeg or something. There's something that's very delicate and precious, and you have to have a very refined palate to appreciate it.
Like a cardamom.
Yes. Cardamom is great. Even better than
my
nutmeg,
irrelevance
perhaps.
in the podcast world is the cardamom of feelings.
Cardamom in baking, my mom uses cardamom. In fact, she's like known to be one of the world's greatest bakers. No
I've
hyperbole.
experienced it myself.
Cardamom is something that she uses, and no one can detect precisely what it is. It's totally obscure to the palate, and yet if it's used, there's such a beauty and an elegance to it. And I think
Sorry, go on.
the onus is on us as people who have a kind of like narcissistic entitlement. Both of us have that a little bit. Also, because we work hard and are good at the things that we do, and like have a little, maybe too much awareness of that.
Speak for yourself. I don't work that hard.
Oh. A podcast is a lot of work.
I am working very hard.
You're working very hard. Don't sell yourself short.
Well,
but there's a beauty in that obscurity, and I'm like playing devil's advocate because I'm absolutely tortured by the fact of like, it's more like the material end. Not making a living fucking sucks.
well, that's the other part that's just actually very reasonable, is that you need the numbers to make enough money to live. But
that buy-in gets you kind of embroiled in this whole mechanism of chasing something that's beyond having something cool to say or having an interesting voice, or it chases you beyond the threshold of just living and creating something from that experience.
yeah, but sometimes I think when people are saying all that stuff about how you should just enjoy making the art and all that, I think, well, I don't know if I do enjoy it enough to just not make a living off of it.
Enjoying it is weird because I feel like really good stuff is sort of like a treat after punishment. You know what I mean? Like you had some experience that transformed you and was deeply uncomfortable, and you gained an insight from it. And here's this treat of like, then you get to do something, you get to spend with that credit of insight and have a fun outing.
Do you mean, I'm trying to parse this from my mind, do you mean that because making art is actually very hard? And I find it very emotionally taxing.
No, I think that making art isn't really an experience removed from the rest of life. And so by necessity, you have to experience something that doesn't have anything to do with potentially one day making something. Just you experience life, and then that experience creeps into the art making process, or the whatever, even the meme making process. What it does, I'm not speaking in like from
Yes.
a great height or something. Like
No.
anything that has insight or humor comes from a lived experience elsewhere, where someone wasn't immediately being like, "How can I exploit this into content?"
Yes, which is what I'm having to do now, which is what I was talking about hating thinking.
Yeah.
Which is I go to the coffee shop leading up to shooting these shows, and I just go, okay, now think about what's been happening and how you feel about things, which is actually a nice sort of journaling kind of thing to do. But it is a great pressure on figuring out what you think all the time.
I don't think that you hate thinking. You love thinking.
I disagree.
No, hold up. The environment of thinking, though, like, is so infiltrated and penetrated by the influence of like looking to exploit your lived experience to do something on Instagram, or to generate insight enough for a podcast, or like think, all of the subliminal influence of like being bombarded by advertisement and a sort of class system that is pulverizing.
Yeah.
So when you're thinking, you're kind of like in this environment that's mostly uncomfortable often.
I suppose you're right.
But like the sparking of atoms of like having an insight that's like this idea over here disconnected from this one, connecting them. You love that. That's what that's your comedy.
I've never liked writing my jokes either. Thinking about that, it's been a pain my whole life. When I'm in my natural form, I'm sitting on the couch and I'm doing almost absolutely nothing, and my brain is almost empty. Although it is, I think, thinking about feelings, like I was saying, which the cardamom thing was good for. That explained a feeling better than almost anything. Mm-hmm. If I could just maybe use spices to describe my feelings.
Feelings. Okay, you had a funny point in I think it was the rant rather than the monologue. You coined something, I think, off the cuff, a feelings cast or a feeling cast.
Yeah, feeling cast.
I had the brilliant insight that we should rebrand music, because no one pays for it. There's no Patreon for music, as feeling casts.
Right.
Just take out the gaps between songs so that you have to listen to an hour of music.
Right.
And be like, yeah, it's this invisible thing that comes into your life, into your AirPods, and provokes sensation. It's called a feelings cast.
Because music is supposed to feel a certain way. I feel like I'm speaking as though I'm an alien who just came to the planet, but I've always made fun of the idea of musicians saying that's how they have to express themselves. And I say, why don't you just use your words?
Yeah, sure.
Because words are actually better to express yourself than music, if you're just talking about feelings.
Well, the notion that someone has something to express that's like more worth hearing than whatever it is you're encountering inside of yourself at that moment is sort of a flawed idea.
And yet, the way I'm speaking, I do feel like I'm coming off as a tortured being who actually can't express the feelings that he is more interested in than his thoughts.
Yeah, but then that's where your work comes out of, is the like mistranslation or the inability to articulate precisely what it is that's torturing you. And so you keep having to do it. If you articulated it, you wouldn't have to articulate it again. It's the not being able to articulate it that makes something interesting come to life.
It's almost like most great art, or any art in general, is just somebody trying to express something without being able to.
I think that's absolutely true.
Wow.
Well, like if someone knows exactly what they want to express and they're good at it, it's kind of boring. It's like watching Topical Shohei Ohtani. It's just kind of boring. You know what I mean? You've determined exactly the meaning and the mechanism for delivering that meaning.
It's
It's
too perfect.
It's too perfect, or whatever. Like why I think. Well, I'm thinking.
Well,
like,
okay. Can I say one?
Sure.
It's like when you watch a movie that's really sad and it just hits all the sad buttons, and in that way, it's lame. Like, do you remember that movie Manchester by the Sea or whatever?
Yeah.
It just seemed like they pulled out every trope of sadness and go, but his kids died, and you go, well, of course that's sad.
Yeah.
You hit it right on the damn head, didn't you?
Yeah, you went to the saddest possible.
And if I wanted to just think about people's kids dying, I could just think about that if I wanted.
I mean, we're forced to every day in this economy.
We're not talking about that.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
This podcast is actually sponsored by Israel. New sponsorship deal. Anyway.
Yeah, that's a brain. That does something to neutralize thought.
Well, why don't we take this opportunity to interrupt this really good path we're on for me to try a new segment.
Okay.
So, yes. Do you have more to say about this?
Did you launder the Wikipedia segment into your monologue? Because it felt like you were just saying the content of like these battles and stuff felt like they could have been drawn from the random Wikipedia.
No, they were from the actual day, November 10th.
Right.
That's
it felt like just a migration of approach.
Well, it's Wikipedia based.
There we go.
Yeah. But Wikipedia is in all kinds of walks of life. So I don't know. You've been listening to the podcast. You're very nice to do that, or watching. And I used to do this.
TH head.
Not technically, because that's what my Patreons are called. And
Right.
I wouldn't ask you to become a Patreon, but
I have considered it.
I wouldn't like you to.
But then I had to do an equation of like, well, how much do I make from Bandcamp per month? And like, I don't think I'm
as payment for being a guest, if you ever want one of the bonus episodes, I'll send it to you.
Appreciate it.
And if anyone out there can't afford the Patreon and would like to hear the bonus episodes, I'll send one to you.
There you go.
As a taste to get them hooked.
There you go.
Now, I used to do these call a vape shop for a question. Do you remember this?
I do.
And then I stopped because it made me nervous and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Then I get this guy in my inbox on Instagram who listens to the show, and he says, well, as a Patreon perk, you could offer to call one of the Patreons. And I thought, well, I actually don't. That feels like that would be stressful for them. I don't want to put that on them. But I just messaged him today. After about a month ago, he sent this, and I said, would you like to ask a question?
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
And so we're going to call him right now for a question.
Surprise him.
This is Tim with two M's.
This is like Parasocial Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, we're really trying to get this parasocial thing going.
Let's get it cracking.
Let's see if this works. I've never made a call on Instagram. Oh.
Do I have to pretend like he knows who I am? Or does he have to pretend like he knows who I am? Because that's not going to work.
No, I think it'll be okay.
Just generic musician question?
Is that Tim?
Tim.
Tim, welcome to the Tom Henry Show.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
So I was just explaining that this was your idea, and I really put it on you in a stressful way.
Yeah, I was high when I thought it up, and I was on the way to get high when you sent the message. So it's all come full circle right now.
That's awesome. What kind of drugs you into?
Oh, just the THC kind.
Oh, yeah, good. Stay there. It is a gateway, though, you know.
I heard it can open some doors.
I think the authorities might be coming to get you right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm here with my friend Max Turnbull. He's a musician. He used to be Slim Twig. Now he's Badge Epic. He doesn't want you to expect that you might know who he is, but do you have a question for him?
Specifically for him?
Well,
No.
it could.
I've got some general questions.
Yeah. Well, you get one, buddy.
Yeah. Is it Max?
Max. Yeah.
Max.
Hi.
Max, would you like a thought-provoking question or one about real life?
I feel like that's the same
There's
category of
nothing
question.
thought-provoking about real life.
Sorry, what did he choose?
I said they're the same category.
He said they're the same thing.
Oh, okay. I'll give it to you then. All right. Would you rather forget your best memory or relive the worst one once a year?
Oh, wow.
Damn, that you came with a full clip.
So it's either or.
Yeah, you can either forget your best memory that you've ever had your whole life,
bro.
or you can relive the worst one once a year.
So we're in a lose-lose here.
Brutal.
So we're in a lesser of two evils situation.
I feel like I have a few different best memories or kind of epiphany feeling memories. And I have fewer but more significant bad ones. So I think I could stand to lose the very top of the mountain one and go to a lower summit without having once a year. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, reliving your worst memory.
The more I
once
think
a
about it,
year
this is an obvious.
Sounds like torture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll just forget the birth of your children.
Yeah.
Thank you for that assumption, which was definitely the thought I had exactly in mind.
I hope it is. Tim, that was a good one, and you may have.
Oh, can I ask Tim a question?
Yeah, Tim. Max has a question for you.
Okay, yeah. Shoot, Max.
What's your favorite flavor of vape, my brother?
Did you say flavor of bacon?
Your favorite flavor of vape.
Oh,
Sounds
let's say dragon fruit.
Do you vape though?
doesn't. I don't think
Or
that's
is this
real.
just a funny answer?
I have, and it is.
Oh. All right. Well, Tim, thank you. That was a great question. Better than any question I've ever come up with.
Well, very fun being on here. It was cool. All right. See you guys.
I think you birthed a new segment. Where are you located, by the way? Are you in Toronto?
I'm in Toronto. Yep.
All right. See you around, brother.
Cool. See ya.
Hey, are you a Patreon?
Amazing.
He suggested it for the Patreon, so I sure hope he's a Patreon. I actually don't remember a Tim being on there.
It wasn't Heidecker.
That was not Tim Heidecker.
Probably doesn't have a 416.
What do you think, by the way, of Tim Heidecker's earnest music career?
That's a tough one. That is a tough one. My friend a couple months ago texted me and was like, "Hey, dude, I've got tickets to see Tim Heidecker and Neil Hamburger tonight at Danforth Music Hall. Do you want to go?" And I was like, smashing the thumbs up. And then I got to the venue and he was like, "Yeah, it's Tim's music thing." I was like, the whole time, just the assumption that this was a comedy thing. The Neil Hamburger thing.
Neil Hamburger's on the bass.
Yeah. Noted music head actually as well. Yeah, it was a tough one. I think he's pretty self-aware about what he's doing and like why people are engaging there. And I think this is what I will say. Tim Heidecker is absolutely a once in a generation brilliant songwriter, and his best songs are on the Tim and Eric show. There are some absolutely transcendent songs that work on a musical level, a chord level, harmonic level, lyrical content, just the clashing of like this sound with this idea. Right. He's a fucking musical genius. He truly is. I haven't spent enough time with like the records he wants people to engage with on a different level.
I'm just a big stay in your lane guy. And it just seems like, he's just being so earnest about it. He really wants people to engage with it, which is fine. I guess if his fans want to do that, they can.
He knows there's no one who's like thinks he's the guy on the music level, but I
don't know if he does know that if you watch him. Why is he touring with it then?
Because it's fucking fun as hell to go on a tour bus with 4 friends and play music and have 1,000 people show up, and he can do it.
Yes.
And so this is like the stratification of our culture. The people that can are doing, and the people that don't we're trying to get the crumbs on the Instagram parasocially.
But it's up to us to not do the thing just because we can. We have to, we have to stop ourselves from that.
The expectation though of like that kind of drawing a line, a sort of dignified stance in these things, is tough. So it's like, if you could have the option of like, don't feel anxious at all about being able to pursue your dreams, like, would you draw a line there and be like, okay, I'm not going to step over that boundary? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's called integrity.
Yeah, but we're post integrity, dog.
I'm not.
That's when we were growing up. There was like in music, it was like there was a big hubbub because Animal Collective like licensed a song to Crayola. Oh my God, this is not a fucking thing that anyone would sneak. Like if you're honestly a psychotic if you say no to Crayola in 2025. I don't care who you are, you're psychotic.
Animal Collective actually got me into Crayola.
There you go.
Well, maybe this will change your mind about this subject. Mark Maron is now posting live music clips.
Okay.
And he's doing like Stones covers. And he's really serious about it.
The easier self-control would be never to listen to this trash. It's trash. It's like something that should be done around a campfire with his friends. Absolutely. Have a fucking knock yourself out, bro.
Right.
So
my
we
point.
have to exercise the self-control because what are the stakes for him? He's got $1 billion.
Yeah.
And it takes a click of a button to post it on this thing. And then we have to talk about it. It's like the self-control is like, don't.
And I think for all of them, they have sycophants who will be like, this is great. Can I come to your show? And he's probably selling out these Rolling Stones cover shows.
Yeah.
At Largo. It just feels like such hubris to me. To be like, I'm not very good at this, and I know it, and I'm still going to treat this like it's something special because you all love me and I know it.
Yeah, hubris is a $1 million bill. If you have $1 million fucking dollars in your back pocket, it means nothing to you. That is hubris.
I thought you meant the opposite, which I also think is true, is that having hubris earns you $1 million. Because that same hubris that person had got them to where they were.
There's a bidirectionality because the more successful you are in this economy, the more willing you are. It's like a rat maze that selects for the rat. This is a very tortured metaphor that can like go through each next passage and fit through how willing they are to go through that passage, do the thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. As a musician, how willing are you to become a YouTuber as well and adopt that affect in the presentation of your music? If you're willing, great, go to the next level. How willing are you as a musician to as a comedian to do this corny cover thing? Well,
it's what me and all my friends of a certain age are now trying to muster up a bit of that willingness.
Yeah.
Because for years and years, I stayed off social media for the most part, other than like with friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I've got the whole thing going on and I'm trying to partake because it's adapt or die. And part of this project is like putting like something I actually can stand behind, but something also that I can put up there.
I think we are kind of getting into a weird mad cow disease stage of things where it's like all of culture is produced by people and who are drawing from other culture, like scrolling, seeing stuff on the scroll and making stuff that can go back in the scroll. And so it's like...
It's the Uroburo.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, I do think the way I'm trying to do it is to, like I said, do things I can stand behind and then make those into content. So if I cut up my stand-up, well, that was just something I wanted to do anyway.
Yeah.
And if I do this podcast, I wanted to do it anyway. Cut it up. And then, but I do think, the people who are like, I'm just going to make a video of me saying anything. Or like I talked about last week, people who film themselves crying.
Yeah.
So they were about to cry and they grabbed their phone and filmed it. That's really like a sickening amount of pure content creation. And I know people who like decided, I have to make content now. And then, you just get whatever content is.
But think about that person's interior life. They have like the physical sensation of welling up, and that prompts getting the phone and recording it to exploit something beyond the experience itself. That is fucking hell. And neither of us want that, although we do want some of the trappings that seem to surround
We want
what that behavior rewards.
we just want to sell a show, a live show.
Yeah.
Like I know a guy who got big online doing restaurant reviews. He's a comedian, but he was doing restaurant reviews. And now he sells out his shows. So you could be like, man, I really don't want to do restaurant reviews. And I don't, and I won't. But it gets him where he wants to be, where he sells out a show and he gets to do his stand-up for a packed room.
So then what is the want? You know what I mean? If the want can be transposed to like, oh, I'm doing this activity and now I'm doing this other activity that has no bearing to the first activity. I'm not speaking about your friend because I don't know anything about this person. This is a straw person. But do you see what I'm saying? Like, what is animating the desire if we can just totally transpose the activity to achieve it?
Love.
Peace and love.
No, I just want to be loved.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. I thought you were answering glibly, but that was the real answer.
And people never talk about this part, the opportunity to give love to other people. Because my famous...
That's sickening. It's not real.
I disagree. Because my famous friend, the Irishman who I've had on here.
Yeah.
People really light up when they see him. And he gets to act in a way that's just loving towards people, which I think would be really nice. When I see people on the streets, I wish I could give them something like he can, but I can't because they don't care about who I am. So if I did the same thing he did, hey, blah, 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 they would go, I wish this guy would stop talking to me.
Can I try to out cynicism Tom Henry on the Tom Henry Show?
Yes, because I'm being very uncynical.
True. I think someone who is starting from a position of, I just want an opportunity to show my love to you and like let the rays of my sunshine hit your flesh. I think that there's a back room in that person's mind where they're masturbating gratuitously through the exchange and the self-pleasure of being a little son, as you described it in your monologue.
Well, I guess I'm that person.
Deeply erotic, gratifying.
I guess I'm that person.
I mean, we all are a little bit, and it's okay. You know what I mean?
I mean, what if it satisfied both? What if it did satisfy your own little ego, but also you did really make something nice for somebody?
That's allowed.
Maybe we'll take a break.
Sounds good.
Yeah, let's take a break. We'll be right back with Max.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next act goes by the name of Slim Twig. When they say he gets picked up by a lot of birds, they mean it literally. But seriously, folks, this guy's really been on fire lately. And that's just as a piece of kindling. Here you have him, Slim Twig.
And we're back with Max Turnbull. We were talking in the break about our upbringing.
Yes.
Which I wanted to talk to you about. We grew up on the same street here in Toronto.
Yep.
And I think we can say the place.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
We grew up in a place called the Bain Co-op, which is a very strange little world. I always described it as like sort of a beautiful ghetto because it's
ghetto LARPing.
Well, yes, there's aspects of it that are ghetto, but yes, no, I wouldn't truly proclaim that it's a ghetto. It's very nice.
I feel like it has more in common with like Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones.
Like the Shire.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Shire.
It's much of it is affordable housing, so there are like different incomes, but a lot of lower incomes. And so you have that aspect sometimes. Like I remember when I was a kid, there were street festivals, and I remember one specifically ending with a guy getting hit over the head with a beer bottle.
Yeah, that makes
so
sense.
that kind of stuff was happening.
Yeah, there's rowdies.
There was at least one guy I knew had a gun.
Oh, I'm trying to...
He ended up shooting himself in the foot.
Oh, that makes sense.
And then getting out of crime. But he's actually a really nice guy now. I see him sometimes. So yeah, but it's also beautiful looking. There's gardens and courtyards and greenery and flowers, and the apartments are pretty nice.
Well, the low income aspect of it means that you have like kind of hippies abutting roughnecks,
White
right?
trash kind of, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing to have that mix of culture.
Yeah. My upbringing, I didn't feel like it was such a beautiful thing. I was sort of like afraid of the neighborhood bullies.
Oh, yeah,
and,
definitely.
you know, there were some rough aspects, but it is a beautiful thing that people can have affordable housing and in a really nice place and in the middle of a neighborhood that's very affluent.
If the cost of having more affordable housing is that some sensitive, artistic, open-faced young boys like you and me have to be intimidated by the odd ruffian, I think that's an acceptable and tolerable cost.
And we also get to learn our street smarts.
I don't think I did that, but you probably did more than I did.
Do you not feel street smart?
Yeah. I think I have a kind of like basic credential of like having been born in Toronto, but
You went to an art school.
yeah.
I was out there rough and tumble.
In the rough and tumble art school that was Rosedale.
I only went there for a year and then I got kicked out for being bad at it.
That is pretty rough and tumble.
So you and
Did you
I...
get out of Rosedale? That actually seems hard. Like, respect.
I got kicked out of at least...
Did you get kicked out?
More or less, yes.
I'm
But basically for absence.
I'm impressed because it wasn't weed smoking.
No, it was basically for absence. It wasn't me being bad.
Right.
So we both grew up on the street. We didn't know each other really. We just saw each other and then we became friends when you were like 18. I was like 21.
Mm-hmm.
Then we were like best friends, went everywhere together.
Yes.
You also have this wonderful family that I fell in love with. And I was sort of like, I think like the Eli Cash of your family. I don't know if that reference hits for you.
It definitely does. Have we talked about that specific reference?
I feel like I would have.
I've conjured that to mind previous to you saying it, but it's probably because you said it.
I think I said it.
Okay, there we go.
Because you guys were very like Tenenbaum-esque in a low income housing kind of way.
Low grade Tenenbaum.
Well, you know, without the big mansion.
And without a royal explicitly. You know what I mean? There wasn't that
right
level on top of
it was in
adults.
no way exactly like the movie.
It was in no way exactly like the movie.
No.
Yeah.
But
That's a funny qualifier.
but
It was in no way exactly like this.
But I was kind of like the little like you guys are all very beautiful and statuesque.
Dude, you have to give a rest with the being not good looking because you have such a wonder. Like people that are good looking are not as good looking as the character good looking people, especially for men. You know that, bro. Like women are not. They're trying to smash Tony Soprano. Like just
I wasn't putting.
And you don't even look like him. You're like more conventionally attractive than him. Just,
I wasn't putting myself down. I was only to say.
I know. I'm just as a TH head. I'm like, come on.
Oh, look.
The joke of you not being attractive is expired because it's patently not true.
Listen, I'll give you a little peek behind why I lean into that.
Okay.
I was once in New York watching a comedy show, and Aziz Ansari was on stage.
I was going to say Chappelle walked on stage.
It was Aziz Ansari. And he was telling jokes about how he has trouble with women. And the crowd went like this. They went, "Aw." And he snapped and couldn't bear to think that these people think he doesn't do well with women. And he immediately went, "You guys know I actually do really well with women." He lost
He broke
character and he went, "You guys know I actually do well with women." And he literally said, and I don't like this kind of language. He goes, "You know I get my dick sucked."
Oh.
And then later you find out what a bad date he was. Apparently he doesn't get his dick sucked. But anyway.
There's a lot going on there.
There's a lot going on there. But this is why I would rather lean into the idea of being a bit of a putz than to go, actually, I do pretty good.
Yeah, no, I if it's a binary option, I think you're making the right choice. I don't think it's binary. But like what I will say is a similar story. My version of that story is I have a line a day journal where I'll like keep track of everything that's happened. And I was for a time keeping track of like when I was having sex with my wife. as part of my line of day. And then
Cool
there's
journal.
an entry that's like, just so you know, I have more sex than I even write down in this, whatever. So
You wrote it to yourself.
yes, the audience for this was me in the future. So that tells you something about what is at stake in our as men, in our perception of ourselves.
Well, last
with
week
that.
I talked about what is wrong with men, and that's a lot of it. There's like, I was talking about the show Love is Blind, which I watch. And it's this, I don't need to explain it to you, but basically the men are very like competitive about ending up with one of the women.
Okay.
And the women are trying to find love. And the
They're
men
trying
like,
to find love or a spin-off deal, whichever.
their motives may be murky, but
Yeah.
in general, you can tell their emotions are way more sincere than the men. And the men just want to like win the show. And
This is working off. I'm being too literal minded. It's working off archetypes that I don't think are hold that as much water as we want, but they work for reality TV.
Well, I would argue that those shows sometimes show you like something very real about the genders. Like there was this show Naked and Afraid that's about a man and a woman who have never met who have to go to an island and survive naked together. It's a great show. So it's basically a survivalist show. It's not about them hooking
This
up.
is Judeo-Christian propaganda. This is an Adam Eve sort of synthesis into
it's a great show.
reality.
Survivalism is really interesting, but the very interesting part about it is that something very real with the genders, I think, which is that the men go in very confident.
Yeah.
They feel like they got to win the thing. The women go in being like, I don't know, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
By day 2, the women are almost always in charge and keeping the man alive. The man is like crying because he has a sunburn.
Yeah.
It's very real stuff. So look,
Of course.
any generalization is not going to be 100% correct.
No.
But these kind of archetypes, I do think, speak to a truth about us.
I mean, you're not going to corner me into any kind of gender essentialist take.
I don't think
Even
I'm
though
being
thi-
gender essentialist.
Even though this is a Manosphere podcast.
Do you think I'm being gender essentialist?
A little bit, but I do. This caricature is something that resonates with me because I do feel that one of the fundamentally sound descriptors of all man is this sort of insecurity over woman's creative capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of the confidence that you're describing, that day one thing, is this sort of universal bluster.
Yeah.
How did Bain Co-op go?
I don't know. We went down a whole path. But the point was essentially that I was the Eli Cash
Right.
of your family.
Wow,
All
that
very
was
sort
a
of...
long ass digression.
Yeah, because it went into the whole good-looking thing and the Aziz
okay.
Ansari
I
thing. and all
derailed you.
that.
I apologize.
It's okay. Podcasts are famous for being derailed.
You know what I did want to say about that, though? We had, as children, a parasocial relationship. I was aware of you and inferred certain qualities about you just based on the way you looked and like the kinds of things I would see you doing from afar.
And me to you.
Yeah. So maybe you're onto something with this, desire for more parasocial relations because our parasocial relationship converted into a very deep friendship. Mm-hmm. So then you're also right to ask for that DM from someone who begins in a parasocial place, but then desires to truly be loved by you in reality.
Only if
In
they're
actuality.
parasocially pretty hot.
Yeah.
But anyway, I had a great time back then. But what I was going to say actually about that too, we're kind of skipping forward, but
Okay.
you actually, I'm sure I've told you this and I said it on one other podcast. You were the reason I started doing comedy.
Wow.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Because we were that age and you were like a very driven musician. You had a lot going on.
That wow.
Look, I could
Sorry for the
sigh
sound.
about where I've come to too, but I was writing this blog of sort of humor pieces and you
Amazing, brilliant blog.
you were very supportive of it at the time. And I was kind of like, whatever, I'm just creative. I just do whatever. And then we would watch stand-up comedy
Yeah.
and love it.
Yeah.
And then you would be like, that's what you got to go do. And you're already writing the jokes. You got to go do that. And I was like, I don't know. And then sometimes we would go to comedy shows together. And then it took like a year of me going to these shows and being like, oh yeah, I guess I could do that. But you were always like, you got to do this. You got to do this.
Damn.
So I really don't think I would have done it if it weren't for you.
Wow.
And
that is so meaningful to hear. Honestly, I want to look in your eyes and say that's so meaningful.
Yeah.
And I want to look in this parasocial eye
Yeah.
and say to all, I know you're adored. I want to reap that parasocial capital. Like all the comedy heads, all the Toronto comedy heads, all the comedians who watch this, follow my shit. Smash that follow.
Yeah.
At badge.epic, I think EPOQUE. Like,
Sure.
Let's route this the other way. I
also amazingly haven't even mentioned until now that you created the theme song for this show.
True.
Which was already a song that I used.
Yeah. Dude, I'm so touched. It's amazing.
It's really true. And then
Also, your blog, like, there's nothing different between the quality of the insight on your blog and the quality of your best insights here and in your stand-up. Like, you see the world in a way, and you need to keep seeing the world and keep saying what you're seeing.
Well, the difference is that for those stand-up and blog, I got to sort of carve these little jewels out and not actually have to just talk. Like I'm saying, I'm having to do so much talking for this, which is just like straight mind to voice. And those things are more comfortable to me because I get to carve out these little ideas. And this is more just like, now I'm another guy who talks, which can feel really bad. But what I was going to say further to that you got me into stand-up, which also the first time I did a set, you were there.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And also we had a phone call before where you were like, how do you feel? And I was like, I feel like I'm about to take a flight. And you and I were both very afraid of flying.
Yeah.
So you knew what that meant.
Yeah.
But furthermore, when I started this podcast 6 months ago or whatever it was, and I did a few and I was like spiraling because of what I was just saying. It's not what I'm used to doing, and I'm just talking and I'm not getting to carve out my little jokes and stuff. Mm-hmm. And this is nothing against you, but because you have such good taste, you were the evil voice in my head, saying like, this isn't good enough.
Yeah.
And when I was like thinking about, oh God, this is bad, what I'm doing now, you were kind of the voice, not literally talking to me, but I was picturing you checking it out and being like, Tom's doesn't really have it. And then you like were the first person who, I think you actually called me and you were like, I just want to say how much I'm enjoying this and how amazing it is that you're doing this.
Yeah.
So not only did you get me into stand-up, you probably kept this podcast alive too.
I will reap all of it. You know what I mean?
Well, have fun with the 50 fans.
But I also will say there is something, it's not strict. I'm not occupying that position in your mind with no action on my part to be there as a critic. You know what I mean? Good taste is something that I think is like wielded as a cudgel among people who perceive themselves as having good taste. And I'm definitely in that category of person who's been looking to privilege, based on, I've got good taste. And
I think that was very much the early Tenenbaum's Eli Cash relationship that you and your family are very like demure and very sophisticated about art, which is great.
Yeah.
And I was like really happy to be around that. But I also was just a guy who loved the movie Big. And I would be like in your house, like, I like Big. And it felt like nothing against you or your family, but it just felt like we don't watch that kind of stuff.
I will say, I'll say this anecdote with love, but like a term in my household, my dad would refer to things, that's a genre film, right?
Yeah.
That is not, I don't think, something that people experience.
Right.
As a dismissive, that's not an average experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is it's sort of a way of re-articulating my position of being on top of something. You know what I mean? Like, I had a dad who did this. Mm-hmm. What I'm trying to say is there's so many ways of seeing life, and there's ways in which what we see, we want to make something we can stand on top of. Yeah. And taste is absolutely one of them. And now I've absorbed that appreciation for like very sophisticated cinema that my parents, prescribed for me. And I'm so glad that I have that as a pleasure in my life. But I'm also binge watching like horror films now as a 37-year-old man.
Yeah.
Because I want that pleasure,
I famously on one of my birthdays years and years ago, in my 20s probably, or in my early 30s, I told another comedian that I was going to kill him quite seriously, and it was an incident, and during the incident, I also just kept saying, "Oh, you're just Mr. Taste, aren't you? You're just Mr. Taste." Dude. Because we had a fight about a movie.
What's the movie?
It was about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And this was a guy who...
5 stars.
I loved it. And everyone was loving it. And he didn't like it. And then anyway, it doesn't really matter. But he ended up saying, "Shut up" to me. And then I said I was going to kill him. And
was my face like levitating over his body as this was happening?
It might have had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Might have had something to do with it.
And I will say, I didn't like those street smarts that you acquired in the Bain Ghetto. I didn't receive those because I was standing on top of the plinth of my parents' culture, like a culturedness and the pride that we all take in sort of being acculturated. You know what I mean? Plinth is another word that if the DeLeo brothers
I was just thinking how much I liked that word plinth.
Yeah.
What if that was Denzel Washington movie?
Okay. So Denzel Washington, there's a couple cop movies like Training Day. It's expressly the opposite of jocular.
Yeah,
expressly the opposite of jocular.
He just showed how much he literally didn't understand at least Denzel Washington movies.
Yeah.
Which in my household were very important. No, actually, I should say my mom is also sort of a film person and got me into a lot of cool stuff.
I feel like there was always like film. I remember seeing like film noir books at your house.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're laundering a little bit.
There was a lot of old movies.
The whole thing with you is I think you are kind of a contrarian in nature.
No, I hate when people call me that.
And you want to be contrary to the very sophisticated, artful people who you totally fit in with. By bringing in some of that Bain street smart and some of the jocularity, to use a buzzword. And then with the more jocular side of your social world, you want to be contrary and bring in, well, actually, Paul Thomas Anderson is the greatest film director, not Michael Bay, whatever it might be, not superhero film XYZ.
Well, okay, first of all, I hate the word contrarian because I think it speaks to somebody who's doing it just to do it. And when I'm contrarian to people, I feel like it's because I truly believe something.
Of course.
But the part you might be right about is that I do tend to straddle these things. So maybe it's easy for me to be contrary on either side.
That's the multiplicity of meaning, the thing you were saying you can't do, that my kind of thinking is more like about you is precisely the thing I like about you, the multiplicity of your being.
See, I'm already confused. This is like when I read one of your letterboxd reviews. Which is funny too. You have these letterboxd reviews that are like really like, I don't know, a Harvard. It's like
that's
just
so
like I can't often wrap my head around the ideas you're saying, and then mine are like, I ate chips when I watched this and enjoyed it.
And how many likes do yours get versus mine? Do you know what I mean? Like, what do people really want to encounter? Do they want someone presenting how smart they are, or do they want someone who's like recounting an experience they had?
But there's a place for both.
There's a place for both. And also I'm not just going to step on myself. I'm going to say I'm in school and I'm studying to become a psychotherapist.
Yeah.
And I'm reading all this psychotherapeutic literature. And that's the lens that I'm using when I look at film. And so it's a personal journal.
And I do enjoy them. And I use mine as a personal journal too. I do enjoy yours. Just sometimes I go, man, like I'm impressed. I'm just like, I can't.
If you're impressed, then it did the thing it was hoping to do in part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the part that's annoying about them. And I actively know I'm seeking to impress on some level with the things that I do. But for me to like say to myself, no, you're not allowed to try to be impressive would be like this very repressive
Well, I think
state of affairs that I also can't tolerate. So,
I think mine are also meant to be impressive in a different way.
right.
They're supposed to be funny,
Yeah,
which is also a form of trying to impress people.
it's true.
For people to go, wow, look how funny that was.
Yeah,
Same thing. Wow, look how smart that was. Wow, look how funny that was.
yeah.
Same kind of thing.
Currency.
Anyway.
Looking to do something with what just naturally happens in the mind.
With what you got.
With what you got.
You're really
With what you
smart.
got.
I'm stupid and funny
And terrible looking.
and terrible
I will
looking.
say.
Disgusting. Okay, so we're going to talk about the Dream song.
Yeah.
So what would you say it was like a year ago?
Yeah.
A year ago, I had a dream, and I had this dream that you were in, and you were playing me your new album,
Yeah.
and
Which had not been created.
which had
yet.
not been created.
I hadn't started recording it.
No,
at
this
all.
was just a fake album in the dream.
prescient that you knew I had to make a new album though.
I guess we have that bond. So, but in the dream, I heard the exact song. Like I can't hear it anymore, but I heard it completely. And I woke up in the morning and it was still in my head. Like I could hear this song exactly.
Yeah.
And so I went straight to my recorder early in the morning and tried to capture this song. And it's pretty demented. So we're going to play it for you here.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
That's the best part right there at the end.
So that was the song.
Yeah, dude.
And then you ended up making the song.
I did make this song. I used that as a map
Yeah.
and I made that song. It's following it religiously.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do we play the song?
Yeah, I think
So this is the real song. That was the little part I was doing.
but the bass line is exact. And the chords change in the bass line.
So
Hold on.
yeah.
Before we end the song thing, I was thinking about it. It's kind of this amazing thing. If you dreamt a song that didn't exist, you sang it into a phone, sent it to me, and then I made a song. And that now I'm like rich with this wonderful song based off of something that is intangible to both of us, essentially. It's beautiful and is exactly how I want the creative economy to function. With that in mind,
Yeah.
I wrote some nepo baby puns for you
Okay.
that
Nice.
I brought onto the show
Great.
that I want you to evaluate
Excellent.
and see if they could make it into, maybe a monologue.
Okay.
Okay. Margaret unqualified.
Okay. Margaret unqualified.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit tough because there's something on both ends.
There's going to be more where that comes out with that approach. Okay. It's unvarnished. It's raw material,
Yeah.
but it's for you if you
I
want.
love it.
Okay. Lily Rose Depot baby.
I really like that.
You like that?
Yeah. That's pure.
Okay.
Lily
Good.
Rose Depo. po baby. See, it was only on one end.
True. Okay. Lil Romy, no talent.
Lil Romy, no talent.
It's kind of an older hit, Lil Romeo. Lil Romy, no talent.
So does Lil Romeo have a kid?
No, Lil Romeo is the son of Master or Master P.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Lil Romy, no talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard putting the other sound in there.
Yeah, okay.
I appreciate them all, but I'm just giving them
He hasn't had a hit in 20 plus years.
Yeah. Oh, I remember Lil Romeo. Yeah. But
Lil Romeo. Jacob Dylan Turnett.
Jacob Dylan Turnett?
Dylan Turnett. He Dylan Turnett.
Jacob Dylan Turnett. Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay.
It makes you think. Now
Just like Bob Dylan's music.
Now I had this classic take that One Headlight by Jacob Dylan was better than any Bob Dylan song.
Meg, my wife, is a huge Dylanologist, but she gives credit to
One Headlight.
To that and just Jacob Dylan. And I don't know how much it's just he's attractive, but she's a believer. Okay, now we're getting into a category of nepos that are agreed like they deserve it.
Okay.
But here's a topical one
Like
for
Michael
you.
Douglas?
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
Vladimir No Pharaoh Jr.
I like it.
You like it?
Yes. But you're right. In the actual logic of it,
Yeah.
it is fair because he is that good.
You see that video of
Although,
him as a baby.
as with all Nepo babies, maybe they're that good, but it's no Pharaoh because they had all the time to work on it that we don't have.
There's that, but also I do think I've discovered a way of thinking about nepotism. I don't think it exists in sport because we see literally what they're doing with their pods.
Famously, LeBron James's child just broke that rule in that they were putting him on the team even though he didn't deserve it.
I did try to make a Bronny, but I couldn't get it to go.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Bronny. Yeah, keep going.
Okay. Here's another very celebrated Nepo. Laura, did you earn that?
That's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
good.
better than any pun I've made on this show. Other than maybe me too legs look stupid.
Oh my God. I texted you about that one. That was fire. Okay. I have three more.
Yeah.
Two are the most tortured ones that I came up with.
Okay.
And then one
Those are good.
is another category. Okay. Here's the most tortured ones. So imagine, Kate Hudson.
Yeah. The daughter of Goldie Hawn.
Imagine someone
And Kurt Russell.
was talking to Kurt Russell or Goldie Hawn, or no, talking to a casting director who was friends with one of them.
Yeah.
And then was asking them like, who's that? And the casting director who's friends with Goldie Hawn or Kurt Russell answers, Kate, my bud's one. My bud's one. Kate Hudson, my bud. Like that child is my
the
bud's
one of my buds.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
bad.
That's nothing.
Okay. And to be topical.
This is good though because our next week's guest is Nick Flanagan.
Oh,
who's the king of this kind of stuff.
Like the worst torture.
Yeah, he would have written my buds one.
Yeah. For the Toronto Heads, I could see Nick using this material opening for like No Dynamics.
Yeah.
2008 or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's one that is very tortured that I catered. I had to get this guy into one for my fellow TH heads.
Okay.
This is is it Dan Levy or Dan Levy?
Levy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That helps. Abundant leverage. Abundant leverage. From having his father be Eugene Levy.
Yeah. See, that's that sort of like, that's like an intellectual one.
Yeah,
that's from your
one of my
intellectual
letterboxd
background.
review ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But I like it.
Final category. No pun. The name of a Nepo baby, but the name describes both the field that they rose to the top of and their position as a Nepo inside of it.
Okay.
Any guesses with those prompts?
It describes the field they're in.
Yes.
And how they rose to.
And their position as a Nepo.
Wow.
And it's in the realm of sports. And field is a clue.
Oh, Prince Fielder?
Prince Fielder! My man, you
gave me the field part.
but that was on some trivia night. I know you're a trivia night guy and you just nailed it. Description of, he's a field, more DH, but
I think he played first base.
he did play, yeah, you're right.
So he was a fielder.
You're right. He probably retired as a DH.
I think he retired early because of a horrible spinal injury. And no nepotism can help you with that.
That's absolutely true. We are all inside of a body after all.
Isn't that true? Okay, that was fantastic. So this leads us into the end, which is the questionnaire,
All right.
which I've changed.
Oh, okay.
It has some of the old questions, but some new ones too.
Oh, okay.
So it's new and improved. And if you had any planned because you listen, you're shit out of luck.
I had one planned based on the Actor Studio one.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was long gone.
Can I just say it, though?
Yeah.
My worst word, or the word I like least, shareables.
Shareables.
It's a terrible word. It's a terrible word. Okay.
Yeah. Shareables.
Got to fit it in there.
That's a good one.
I'm a day one TH head, so.
What do you usually eat for breakfast?
There's a few different menu options, but a lot of time it's going to be oats, some strawberries, a little bit of cream, coffee for sure.
Great. What's your biggest fear?
Being alone, being left alone permanently. Yeah.
Do you currently hate someone you know or have known?
I like the bit of language, the sort of legality that you put in at the end there, because
Yeah, because people kept going Trump.
that's so boring. I feel like hate is a kind of geographic place that I do enter into. Hate is in my life. There's no one that I'm that's intimately in my life or even acquainted with my life that I truly hate without also kind of loving. But hate exists in my life for sure.
It's a peninsula.
Yeah.
What's something you like about yourself?
I try hard to be a good dad. I can respect that.
It's hard not to respect that.
I mean, dads who try hard, that's a particular category of dad too, which might not be strictly good, but it's better than a dad who doesn't make any effort, and so I can respect it.
Yeah, I don't think you have to feel bad about trying too hard to be a good dad.
Thank you.
This one might be easier. What's something you don't like about yourself?
My compulsion to let everyone know how smart I am through my letterboxd reviews, perhaps.
They're good reviews.
Thank you.
I'd give them a follow.
Thank you.
If you like Sartre. What do you think about People?
Terrible magazine, Us Weekly. It's got to be.
Is there a point to any of this?
I said expressly earlier that there's not, but to take a Sartrean logic, that is precisely what's liberating about it, is that it's a fucking choose your own adventure of what is the meaning. That is the task of life.
Man's Search for Meaning.
Hondo, that is a phenomenal read.
Yeah. You know, it's more fun to try to make it worth something. How many mistakes are you allowed to make?
That's one of the new questions.
Mm-hmm.
That's a stumper. That's honestly fire question. Fire question. There's categories of mistake. You know what I mean? So an infinity in a multiplicity of categories, truly. It gets into a sport now. It's like you can make an infinity of mistakes in a multiplicity of categories, but you can't make one in certain categories.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They get like you're almost describing like a new sport.
Well, you make the wrong mistake, you'll be dead.
Absolutely. That's never the wrong mistake to be dead.
It would be for me.
You know what? That's a category that's not even a mistake. The category mistake definitionally, I think, is something that you have to live through the consequence of for decades and decades.
In order for it to be a mistake.
Yes.
But
And that category of mistake, you might get a few, but there is a category, there is a Jeffrey Epstein category that's like, sorry, dude.
well, at least he's hot as hell. And that's the show for tonight, folks. Join the Patreon and whatever else. Say click like and all that stuff. I need more parasocials. Max, thanks for doing this.
Thank you for having me, brother.
It was lovely. We'll have you back. We're going to start repeating guests soon.
Hey.
I ran out of people I want to talk to. Thank you for being here. Have a good night or day. Bye-bye.